Alright guys, ZFR back here again today, and episode 705, which is named Service of The Walking Dead, just aired. So pretty much, in this episode we got to see Negan come to Alexandria for his first offering, and man, this episode was good. Like, I mean, it was so freaking good. There were so many things in it that just hint to things in the future that you had to look out for. Now, I know some people are probably going to be saying this week's episode was kind of slow, but it was intense. It was awesome, and I loved every second of it. I loved seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan on screen. I think he always does a good job as Negan and stuff, and it was just great to see. So before we get into this, pretty much, let's just look at some of the overall things that happened in this episode. Let's just talk about some of the big things that happened first, and then I'll kind of go through and break down some of the smaller stuff I noticed. So pretty much, first thing I want to talk about is the big bomb they dropped at the end of the episode. If you haven't seen the episode, go watch it. But the big thing they dropped at the end was when Rick pretty much revealed that he's like pretty sure Judith isn't his daughter. Like, that was a pretty emotional moment. Like, that junk even punched me in the heart for a second. Like, and let's be honest, like, most of us already knew that baby wasn't his. Like, I mean, come on. Like, we all knew. But, like, I mean, just hearing him say it for himself and hearing him admit that he knows that baby's probably not his, but he's just looking out for the kid. He's raising her. That's his daughter one way or the other. Just for the simple fact, he wants to raise the kid because, you know, it was his wife's kid one way or another. And it was also technically his best friend's kid as well when you think about it. Even though his best friend turned on him and actually he had to kill him at the end of the day. But, you know, it was really awesome to see them go back to that and kind of explore that and compare that with what's happening now. I really loved that that's what got through to Masone about giving in to Negan and them right now. Like, that was pretty much him saying, this isn't the first time I've had to give in and just accept things for what they are. But let me just start off by saying, for those of you who don't know or who can't tell, because this episode makes it pretty hard to tell, but Rick is not really giving in to Negan. He is not. Like, there's no way Rick is actually giving all the way in to Negan. He's just buying time right now. He's doing what Negan says. He's doing what he wants, so he has time. Because, like I said in the past video where I did my predictions, Negan has a lot of dudes. He has an army for, like, practically. I mean, you can't just fight that with, like, how many people do they have in Alexandria? Maybe, I'm going to guess somewhere between, like, 30 and 40, maybe 50. I think Jesus said so back last season towards the middle of last season going into the end. I think he actually did say how many people were in Alexandria. But, like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't over 50 people. Like, Negan has, like, freaking a couple hundreds of dudes on his team, and like some people may look at that and say that might be an exaggeration. We haven't really seen that many, but look at how many people he has working for him at the sanctuary. Look at how many people he brought to Alexandria. You know, he didn't take all of his fighters from the sanctuary. You don't even see Simon there, so you know Simon's off with a decent sized group of dudes doing something. They have all these different outposts just scattered around that's probably filled up with dudes just like that one they attacked. So, like, yeah, Negan's got a lot of dudes. You can't just disrespect them. So, yeah, Rick's not giving in to Negan. Let's just remember that through all of this. But he has to play his game. He has to do as he says for now, because there's no way out at the moment. So, like, just keep that in mind. Next up, I want to talk about Masone and Rosita. Like, I'm really digging this. I was not expecting. Like, here's the thing. I knew Spencer would probably give Rick some trouble. But seeing that he's not going to be the only one that's going to be giving Rick a hard time about this, don't get me wrong. When you look at the comics, pretty much the comics show that all of the people in Alexandria are kind of giving Rick somewhat of a hard time about this. But you know, Rick shuts it down pretty quick. He's like, "Listen, I'll throw everyone who wants to disobey me about this Negan stuff out." That's pretty much what he does in the comic book. But in here he doesn't, because you know they're not really as upfront about it. A lot of them are behind his back about it in on here, and I really like that. Rosita, let me just talk about Rosita for a second. I don't know exactly how far they're going to take this, but I love what they're doing with her. I think it's brilliant. And pretty much the reason I say that is because, if I'm being honest, Rosita doesn't really have a huge role in All Out War in the comics. Like, in the comics, she just doesn't have it, you know. She really just doesn't, she's really not there that much, except for she's helping Eugene with his little project during the war and stuff. So I'm really glad to see that it looks like they're going to give her a bigger part in this. And this really bumps her up to the top of the list for Holly's comic book death. Like, I mean, that really bumps her up to the top of the list after seeing this episode, when you think about it, because she is pissed. She is ready to go in on Negan, you know? Like, I mean, he was all in her face and stuff. I love what they're doing with the White man. Like, the White seems like such a jerk. He's playing the role of the savior so freaking good. Like, you know, I love the way, I love the fact that they didn't draw out the fact that he actually knows Rosita. Like, she's actually like the second member of the group he's met. Well, the third technically when you count Eugene. And I like the fact that, you know, he's kind of toying with her the most out of everybody, because he actually recognizes her kind of like he does Daryl. Like, and I was like I said, like, I'm loving the White. Like, I'm just loving stuff. Well, I'm going to be doing a whole video just on him pretty soon, because I love what they're freaking doing with the White man. Like, it's just so awesome. And I'm going to talk, and like I said, when I do a video, I'll talk about a little bit more why I think it's so awesome what they're doing with him. But yeah, like, so far this episode is freaking amazing. Like, I mean, there's just so much stuff in it. And you have Masone, who goes out with the rifle and stuff. At first, a lot of people were thinking Masone was going to do something stupid and, you know, try to kill Negan or something, or kill some of his dudes. I was pretty sure from the start she was not that stupid. But listen, this is what I got to talk to y'all about. When Masone was on that rusted up truck shooting that sniper, but she couldn't hit that walker, all I could think of when she was up there is comic book Andrea. Dude, they're going to do it. They are going to make Masone a sniper and a sword wielder. Like, I just know they're going to do it. They are going to make her the sharpshooter of the group. I know it. I just know it. Which probably means something's going to happen to Sasha. But at this point, who cares? If they give Masone Andrea's sharpshooting skills, that she's going to be the most OP character on the show. I'm telling you. Because in the comic book, Andrea could literally shoot a dude's finger off from like hundreds of miles away. Like, I mean, that's going to be awesome to actually see Masone pick that up. And it makes sense, because she technically is taking comic book Andrea's storyline and mixing it in with her own, so it makes sense to make her a sniper too. Like, I mean, I'm really excited for that. I feel like they were hinting at that really heavy here. That might have just been me, but that's what I felt. That's the first thing I thought when I saw her zooming in with that scope trying to hit that walker, she was practicing. Like Rick said, I think she's going to get better. I think she's going to practice again pretty soon. I think she's going to get better at sharpshooting. I can't wait. And they're probably going to do the whole tower scene with her instead of Andrea. For those of you who read the comic, you know what I'm talking about. It's the scene during All Out War. You can pretty much, you should know what I'm talking about if you read the comics. And the Carl stuff. I gotta talk about the Carl stuff. I've been saying I want Carl with his comic storyline with Negan. Of course, after this episode, I don't think we're gonna get it, because as we can see from next episode's preview, it doesn't look like we're gonna get it. Could they still squeeze something a little similar to it in there down the line? Possibly, but I kind of doubt it. But that's okay, because what we got here is awesome. Like, we got to see Carl finally, you know, kicking his badass mode, like, and just stand up to the saviors. And Negan, he walks in. I just love how he was like, oh yeah, we were talking about you and your man-sized balls. Like, cause, I mean, Carl is freaking awesome. I'm telling you, man, give Carl more stuff. Man, we need more Carl stuff, because that Carl is just going to get so freaking awesome next season and this season. Like, I just can't wait, dudes. I can't wait. Please give us a little something more with Carl and Negan. I need more of that. But yeah, pretty much this episode just hit like a lot of awesome strings, and you even see the stuff with freaking Spencer and Rick towards the end, where Spencer's kind of scolding Rick a little bit. And Rick's like, take it back or I'll break your jaw. Because, you know, he says something along the lines where Rick was like, we got lucky that no one got hurt, because, you know, Spencer hid the guns. He could have caused Olivia to die. But Spencer was like, and Rick was like, we were lucky that everyone got out of that okay. And Spencer was like, were Glenn and Abraham okay? And Rick's just like, take it back or I'll break your jaw. He put Spencer back in his place, because, you know, Negan's making Rick kind of step down from his place as the alpha male around. So, you know, people are going to start to challenge his judgment. This is a thing, once again, that we kind of start to see in season 2. Like, but Rick had to squash that garbage at the very end of season 2, and he's going to have to eventually do that again here, because you can just tell, like, everyone's starting to question him. Carl's questioning him. Masson is questioning him. Rosita and Spencer are definitely questioning him. You even got to see, when they were in the church, you got to see a lot of other people questioning him, like the Alexandrians. You got to see freaking, let's see, what's the dude's name? Is it Eric? I can't remember. Is it Eric? What's the one we have now? Oh snap! I can't remember his name. Not Eric, but Eric's partner. I forgot his name. Freak. Like, you know, the two gay dudes. We have the Aaron and Eric. Yeah, that's their names. Aaron and Eric. Eric with an E. I don't know why I was thinking something else for a second. Yeah. But like, freaking Eric stands up and, you know, he kind of comments about, he's like, how are we going to get out of this? And Rick's like, we're not getting out of this. Negan is in charge. Like I said, Rick has to make these people realize Negan is the boss. But freak it, guys. Like, man, I can't even fit everything I want to say about this episode into this 15 minutes. It was just awesome. This is just the highlights. I'm going to have to probably do 1 or 2 more videos going over the smaller stuff in this episode, because I simply just couldn't get through them. Like, there was just so many big things that happened that I'm excited for. I'm going to be doing the preview or the predictions for the next episode later on, probably tomorrow. That'll be out, so just keep your eyes open for that. We're going to be going back to the hilltop, getting to see what happened to Maggie and Salsa afterwards. I can't wait to see that. It looks like everybody's predictions about Simon and the Saviors going to the hilltop were right. I can't wait to see what happens there. But anyway, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and help me out with those likes. Don't forget to leave a comment. I really love reading all your comments and all your thoughts. Tell me what you thought of the episode, what your favorite part was, and most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help us grow this channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. ZFR out.